Hey babes, welcome and welcome back to And Everything in Between. I'm Victoria, your host and guide for navigating the beautiful chaos of your 20s. Whether you're building your dream career, figuring out relationships, or just trying to find you, this is your space for self-growth, real talk, and a little fun along the way. Let's dive into it and everything in between. There's something about turning 25 that kind of just jolts you into reality. Like, have you ever heard of the term frontal lobe development? It's a concept that I found out about on TikTok. And apparently, it's like this huge phenomenon that happens when you're 25 and everything just clicks, everything just starts making sense. And you discover a lot about yourself and your wants and your future automatically and have to start putting that into motion. Your frontal lobe is the part of your brain responsible for decision making, impulse control, and self awareness. And it fully develops around the age of 25. And let me tell you, it feels like it. This year has been full of revelations, hard truths, unlearning, and the type of growth that happens quickly. So, in this episode, I want to share with you 25 things that I have learned at 25, from love and friendship to career, self, and of course, health. Let's get into it and everything in between. Starting out with love, the first thing that I feel like I've learned up until this point is that being in a relationship means making a choice every day. It means choosing to love. It means choosing to have this person that you're with as your partner. I think that there is a lot that people take for granted in relationships, assume are given because you're in a relationship, but a relationship takes two people, and being in one means making the choice to be in one and doing what you need to do to maintain it. Number two, people grow and change, and a relationship will only survive if you can grow and change together. Change is inevitable. That's one of my favorite things to say. You will change, your partner will change, the circumstances that your relationship exists in will change, and you can only survive if you are able to change together and again are making the choice to change together, because it's okay to acknowledge that, like, when we were 21 we did things this way, but now we have full-time jobs and we work very long hours and doing school, whatever the circumstances may be. Things don't look like they did when they were 21 or when you guys were 21, whatever. So it's important to acknowledge changes that come about so that you can course correct and create plans of action to manage that. Number three, forgiveness is everything. It's not about forgetting. I think for me, I can only speak for myself, but forgiveness for me has been a very big part of my journey with my parental relationships, with friendships, and definitely my relationships. I have had to forgive people so that I don't carry the weight of their actions that were taken against me or against my feelings or indirectly hurt me in some kind of way. I have had to forgive them so that I am able to move on or to be able to continue to love them. Yeah, it's taken me a lot of therapy and 25 years being on this planet and going through the relationships that I've been through. Forgiveness. It's one of the most important lessons that I've taken away from it all. Number four, it's about the little things, literally the littlest things, like texting your person when you're thinking of them. If you are out and you see a bakery that has their favorite buying it and bringing it home for them, doing something kind just because. I think, again, like I said, people in relationships take them for granted. It's important to remind yourself that your person is an individual on their own. And if you love them, you'll do things for them that would make them happy. And that's really just what it's about. And like remembering that. Yeah, the little things. And number 5, communication is key. This is not revolutionary. I don't know how many times I've heard that phrase in my life, but it's true. It's so true. Listen to understand, not to respond. If you need to repeat things back to your partner to ensure that you've heard them in the way that they are trying to be heard, please do that. Speak your honest truth to them, not what you think that they want to hear. A relationship that's not built on truth and trust, girl, throw it out the window, but it's important to keep in mind that your feelings matter and there is no need for you to dim that down in order to keep someone else safe. Are you kidding me? The amount of times I've heard my friends be like, I don't want to hurt them, so I won't tell them how I really feel. Girl, are you kidding me? So then who gets hurt? You? No, absolutely not. Speak your truth. And if that person doesn't want to hear it, or if they're hurt by it or invalidate you because of it, you need to reevaluate. Moving on to friendship. Some friendships are meant for a season, not a lifetime. And that is okay. We need to scream that from the rooftops because it's okay to not be friends with the person that you were friends with when you were 5 years old. There are so many factors that go into becoming an adult, growing into adulthood, and then whatever your post 20s life may look like, it's hard to maintain those relationships because of the growth and changes that are happening. And that doesn't mean that you shouldn't maintain those relationships that are important to you. And the people that are important to you will be there with you for a long time, but I'm talking more about high school friend groups or middle school friend groups that just evolve. Like you are not the same person that you were when you were 15, 16, 17 years old. So you have to give those relationships and yourself some grace to evolve away from each other because of growth. And that's a beautiful thing to be able to look at a friendship or a person and be like, I am so grateful for you and everything that we've been through together for the past 10 years, 15 years, but I am not the same person that I was, and this relationship can't be the same as it was. That's beautiful. Like the acknowledgement of that is so incredible. And I think that's something that we need to be more aware of. Like it's okay to see something for what it was and be able to walk away from it because it no longer serves you. Yeah, that's okay. Next, you get what you put in to a relationship, a friendship, specifically. Energy, reciprocity matter, okay? You can't expect everyone to be there for you when you're going through a hard time, when you're the person who never picks up the phone, never calls people back, never reaches out. Like, how do you expect people to give you energy if you are not doing the same thing? This is something that I keep in mind a lot and have, especially after graduating college. My relationships, my friendships that I have are so important to me. I love my friends so deeply because they have been there for me and seen me through really dark and crazy times. And it means a lot to me to be able to show them how much I love them and to be there for them in the best way that I can because they did it for me. And not only because they did it for me, but because I love them and I want them to be in my life forever and to see that my actions are representative of the love that I tell them about every day. So, yeah, remember that you get what you put in. So, don't be one of those people. Next, know the difference between a friend, an ally, and an acquaintance, okay? They don't all get the same access to you. I think a lot of people confuse the terms friend and acquaintance, and everyone has different definitions about these things. But on paper, I can tell you the actual definition so that you can take that with you and do with it as you please. And remember that, again, not everyone gets the same access to you. So, a friend is someone who you have a close personal relationship with that's built on trust and mutual care. You have frequent interactions, you share your personal experiences with each other, and you're comfortable doing that. You're comfortable confiding in them. An acquaintance, okay, please listen. An acquaintance is someone you know, but you don't know them as deeply as you know a friend, okay? Usually, you know them in a limited context, such as work or a shared activity like a social club or a sport, okay? Them being around you and you seeing them a few times a week doesn't make them a friend. Your interactions with this group of people are typically casual and surface level, and it doesn't constitute a strong personal bond just because you see someone every day. Come on. So please take that as you will, but I needed to provide a real definition there because I get upset when I hear my friends be like, oh, my friend at work like only talks about herself and it has no interest in me and what I care about. Your friend at work? Girl. Okay. And then the other thing that falls into this like category is an ally. An ally is someone who rides for you, who will they support you in a specific cause or endeavor. So some people can think about this as like similar to a mentor, someone who gives you advice, someone who provides support to you, but may not have the same shared experiences or lived experiences as you. And again, may only know you in a specific context. So if you are, I don't know, like in a woman's group and you're talking to these women about professional development, like you may find allies amongst this group of people who are willing to provide you with resources, with monetary support, with recommendations, things like that. But they're not friends because you're not like telling them your life story every day and like investing in their well-being on a personal and emotional level. Or maybe you are, but you get what I'm trying to say. And they're not an acquaintance because acquaintances don't typically provide you with that like deep support in a specific cause or part of your journey. And it's also important to think about this in professional settings. I'm talking about it in the context of friendship, but it'd be really helpful for you to think about, okay, who are my actual at work, like people I hang out with outside of work, people whose partners I know, people who I go to dinner with, people who I actually love. I can say that I love this person, they are my friend. Who versus an acquaintance? Who is someone who I just chatted up with in the lunchroom because we're both sitting in there and we have a shared interest in psychology. I don't know. Moving on to the next category, jobs and careers. So, number 9, what you wanted at 18 might not be what you want at 24, and that's more than okay. Okay? Okay? I think that there's so much pressure put on to teenagers, literally teenagers, to make such an important decision about the remainder of their life when they've only been on the planet for 18 years, in school for much less than that up to that point. You have to remember that like your early to mid 20s is about figuring out who you are outside of the context and confines of being in school. As soon as I stepped out into the real world, I had a very rude awakening and I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is what working is like. This is what this industry is like. And I was able to dive deeper into my actual passions and the routes and paths that I would need to take to get to the place that I actually want to be, again, without the context of school. And I wouldn't have been able to figure that out without the knowledge of what life is like in the real world and what real people have done in their lives to get to where they are. I think it's really easy in college to get sucked into this loop of, okay, I'm going here and I'm doing this. That is that, and that will be that for the rest of my life. But then you go out into the real world, you meet people who are 10 years older than you, 20 years older than you, 30 years older than you, who their 20s were full of changes and pivots, and they did not start out where they, like, in a career path or a job that they're in today. Okay. So it's important to remember that you grow and you change, and you have to let yourself be okay with that. Number 10, it's okay to still be figuring things out. I don't know one person who can tell me that they have it all figured out right now. Okay. I don't even know what that even means. What does that mean? I know very successful people who are still figuring it out. And we have to give ourselves grace to do that. Number 11, ask yourself, what kind of life do I want? I think that's the question that we should be asking people when they graduate from high school. Okay, you're 18. What kind of life do you want to live? What would your life look like in the next 5 to 10 years? And then building your life around that. Not what job do you see yourself in for the rest of your life? Are you kidding me? No. And it's something that I ask myself very often. What kind of life do I want to live in the next year, in the next 5 years? And how can I get there? What are the jobs, the schooling, the whatever I need to do? What do I need to do to get there? And do that so that you can end up living your life in that time frame that it takes to get to where you want to be. Number 12, find a mentor, okay? Someone who is where you want to be. Find them and ask them for guidance. Ask them to help you, please, without judgment. If I did not have people that I can ask questions about their lives or advice on what I can be doing to be where they are, I wouldn't be where I am today. And I'm very content with the life that I am living. So find a mentor. And if you need help finding a mentor, let me know in my DM or comments. I think I do want to make an episode about this because it's truly one of the most important things. Okay, number 13, don't be afraid to ask questions. If you don't ask, you won't know. And I know that living in Gen Z, I'm a part of Gen Z, we are the ChatGPT generation. And I think a lot of people like have questions and feel super comfortable asking ChatGPT. But you know what real people have that chat doesn't? Professional networks and connections. If you go to someone and you say, hey, I am looking for a job at this company. If you ask someone, I'm looking for a job at this company, that person can literally connect you to someone who can help you get a job. Okay. ChatGPT can't do that. They can provide you with a list of names, but that personal connection is what we need humans for. Okay. Don't forget that. And now, self. Number 14, meditation is key. Even 5 minutes a day can ground you and help you refocus and recenter yourself. Number 15, allow yourself to grow, okay? You are not who you were in high school. You are not who you were when you graduated 3 years ago. And thank God for that. You are learning and growing every day about the world. You're learning about yourself, and that will continue to happen. So allow yourself to do it. Do not allow yourself to stay stuck in a part of time that's gone. I know a lot of people like mourn the COVID years or not choosing a certain career path when they had the opportunity, but what is that going to do? Tell me, what is it going to do for you to be like, oh, I wish that I had more time to be in person during college. Okay, that me too. But what can you do now so that you feel like you're more connected to people? Or how can you network your butt off to get into the field that you want to be in now? Allow yourself to grow, please. Don't stay stuck. Number 16, your interests will change and so might your circle. Okay, that's all. 17, don't settle in love, in work, or in your life. Do not settle. This world is so beautiful. It's so big, and there are 8 billion people on this planet. You can choose to have a better life. It's an active choice. Don't settle. Number 18, invest in yourself. Like you are the biggest asset, okay? Because you are. If you're not investing in yourself, how do you expect other people to invest in you? And finally, health. Number 19, stretch every day, okay? I woke up one morning, I was like, ooh, I'm gonna do a hot yoga class. Girl, it felt like I had not stretched since I was 12. I couldn't even touch my toes. So from then on, I decided that I was going to stretch every day, and that's why I use the Bend app. I love Bend. It keeps me moving, it keeps me flexible, and yeah, I'm so grateful that I can take 5, 10, 15 minutes out of my day to stretch my muscles. Your body will thank you later. Number 20, your diet is 80% of the battle. Food is fuel, okay? We are unfortunately living in the age of the skinny era for some reason, but when you're 50 years old, everyone's going to be able to tell that you were not eating enough protein, you were not getting enough vegetables, you were not taking care of your heart, okay? You were not eating antioxidants, okay? Do yourself a favor and nourish yourself, please. Thank you. Number 21, just because you don't drink every day doesn't mean your relationship with alcohol is healthy. I think that's a really huge thing, especially for women in our 20s. And I'll just leave that there and let you think on that. Number 22, move your body daily, not to change it, but to care for it. 23, do something today that your future self will thank you for. Number 24, sleep is not a luxury. It is a necessity. And if you're not getting enough of it, I'm so sorry, but you need to reprioritize your life. Restructure it so that you can, because it is something that you need more than a lot of other things, okay? And lastly, number 25, take care of your mental health like you would your physical health. Therapy isn't just for crises. It's for maintenance. We are on this earth for a long time. We go through so much as individuals. There's so much chatter from the ether telling us to do this and do that and don't do this and don't do that and stay in this relationship or don't stay in that relationship. You need to take care of your own brain and your own thoughts. If it's not therapy, journal. If it's not journaling, video blog. If it's not that, start a podcast. Turning 25 doesn't mean you have it all figured out, but it does mean that you're more in tune with what matters and who you're becoming. If you're on this journey with me, I'd love to hear what lessons you've learned. Let's continue to grow together. Thank you so much for tuning in. If this episode resonated with you or would be helpful for someone you know, please subscribe on Spotify, Apple, or YouTube and share it with a friend. You can also follow the podcast on Instagram at and.everything.inbetween for updates, and you can find me on Instagram at victoria.liverpool. This podcast is sound designed and edited by Misty Avenger. Music for this podcast is The Dude by Matt Large, courtesy of Epidemic Sound. Details provided in the description. Remember, episodes drop weekly on Sundays at 7 p.m. Until then, keep growing, glowing, and remember, you got this.